A key part of safe road use is not driving impaired. Stuart Lovett visited Blackpool Transport with our partners at D.tec International to see how they ensure their bus and tram drivers are not driving impaired.
Hi Ian, once again thank you for supporting Project Edward this year. We hear a lot of facts and figures, which I'm sure you're going to be able to share with us around the importance of being able to deal with driver impairment issues. But one of the things that I just wanted to touch base with you about is you hear a lot and almost zero tolerance for people thinking about drink driving. But is that the same, do you find, with people who are driving with drugs in the system?
I'm afraid to say at the moment, the figures I've seen from 2021 show that drug driving is almost as many as drink driving. 28,000 drug to 34,000 drink. I know from our conversations with all the police forces across England and Wales and Scotland that this year, 2022, we'll be seeing more drug driving than drink on the government's official statistics. The police have known about this for many, many years. It's a case of having a process that now catches those people and brings them to justice. What we sadly need is much greater education that drug driving is as bad as, if not worse, from drink driving.
How are you finding then that in trying to get these messages across, the working with the police and the Home Office within the UK?
The police and the Home Office, we have an awful lot of champions. There's still a few too many people that see it as not a great problem. I've seen a recent report from August's summer drink drug drive, and it actually states that strategically drug driving is the biggest problem the roads policing have in this country.
So from D.tec, do you believe then that this is still a hidden problem within this country?
Yes. I'm afraid it starts with government attitude, Home Office support to the police, more roads policing, more visible roads policing, physically being there, being able to stop the number of people they want to stop. That then needs backing up by better processing at the laboratories. Currently that's nearly 6 months. And with that, these drug drivers are still driving for those 6 months. We're catching them time and time again. Now we need to stop that. We need them to be through the system within a month. They need to be off the road and walking. They need to be given 12 months to think about why they shouldn't take drugs and drive.
My name's Ian Hemming. I've been at Blackpool Transport for 7 years. Now we have a policy. When people come on their first day, they are initially tested. Whilst they're undergoing the test, I did a couple last week. I would take them into a private area. I'd explain what our policy is, the different types of testing that we undertake, and then I get them to undertake a test themselves. And I explain the reasons why we do this. But as well as testing on their first day, we have a random testing policy where their numbers could be computerised, generated, and randomly selected to undergo a test. So we get their staff numbers before they come on duty, and we make sure they're tested before they go out. We have a policy where we would test, obviously under suspicion. If someone has reported that someone is taking a substance or has seen going out drinking excessively the night before, for example. We also have a policy on alcohol where they can voluntarily ask for a test upon arriving on duty, and if they're over our limit, which is 15 micrograms of alcohol per breath below the national limit, if they're over our limit, they have the option then to go home off pay, and they can come back in the following day. We wouldn't allow this to happen day in and day out, but they have that policy in place that if for some unknown reason they're concerned, they can have this one-off.
Okay, so you have these policies here in Blackpool. Would you recommend that other employers adopt a similar kind of policy when they're trying to manage their work-related road risk?
I would, yeah, because we try to be fair. to people. Everybody can have a slip, can't they? You know, and I don't know, home life, just life in general, can bring stuff on, and you do stuff that you wouldn't normally do, you know.
So how do you find that that's been accepted by the staff or by the unions here?
The union work with Blackpool Transport quite well. They have a really good relationship. I used to be on the union myself, so it's one of them. You've got to work it out, haven't you? What's best for the employee and the employer. So,
So
yeah.
a policy of openness is the best thing when you're talking across the council.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, my name's Adrian Barker. I work at Blackpool Transport. I've been a bus driver for around about 17, 18 years. At the beginning of each week or daily, whichever one that they are working on, they'll generate names through the EPM system that we use.
And what is the EPM system?
EPM system is where we log lots of things like mileage and drivers and the information about the drivers themselves. And what that does then, it kicks out, let's say for example, 10 names. You being one, me being another, will be pulled at the start of our duty before you go out and tested for drink or drugs as a random subject.
Yeah, I'm Dennis Hardikevich. I'm the operations manager, one of 3 operations manager based at Blackpool Transport.
How are you finding that trying to tackle driver impairment issues?
We're in 2022. The society we're in, there are plenty of things out there, be it alcohol, be it drugs, that people get involved in. And I guess public transport companies are no different to that. So you have to have the processes and procedures and the active buy-in to address those issues.
Okay, and obviously by raising awareness of what you're doing as a public sector body, that can help then to get that into the private sector about making sure that they're following good practice.
Yes, and again, I think the organisation tends to be a learning organisation, so it learns from what others are doing as well, looks at how it can be implemented if it delivers results, and delivers accordingly.
So, Project Edward has been in Blackpool today on one of the first legs of the Northern Road trip. What we've heard today is how those policies and procedures across Blackpool Council are actually making not only the staff, but actually the citizens of Lancashire safe and free of people who might be driving under the influence of either drink or drugs. So it's been very interesting. We've talked to the operations manager, the health and safety manager. We've also talked to one of the drivers. And one of the interesting things that I think we found here is just how well received this has been by the staff, by the unions and by the management, and they're actually showcasing this as good practice. We've also spoke to the managing director of D.tec, which supplies the drug detection equipment, and seen an example of just how easy that is. It's not an invasive procedure, it's very quick and very easy for businesses to operate a system that they can bring in their health and safety policies and link it all in to keep everybody safe and incident free on our roads. So it's been an interesting and valuable experience, and we thank everybody involved today for all their help.
And that's the end of the programme and the first day of our 2022 week of action. Thank you to everyone who helped with today's events, our partners, and to you for watching. Don't forget to follow our social media channels. We're on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram and YouTube. Like and share our messages if you can, and post your own road safety messages, adding the hashtag ProjectEDWARD. Also check out the Project Edward podcast, Are We There Yet?, which you can access on the Project Edward website or wherever you normally get your podcasts. Tomorrow the road trip will be visiting Oxford, Rugby and Leyland in Lancashire. I hope you can join us for another packed programme. But for now, from me, it's goodbye.